Yep.
Is it wrong to date?
Who's the lucky person?
I heard some teenagers asking about it.
All right. Because some teenagers asked, and since it's Valentine's Day, I think I should answer this question. The Bible doesn't say anything about dating in it. You can't read through the Bible and find a specific section or a couple of sections that talk about dating because it's not in it. So that kind of puts dating in the wisdom kind of section of life. So in life, you get things that are just blatantly wrong to do and things that are blatantly right. But for a lot of life, you need to use wisdom. And the Bible doesn't condemn you for doing things that aren't wise. But quite often, the Bible will strongly push you to do something that is wise. And so what I would say is that while the Bible doesn't say that dating is wrong, what would be wise for you as a Christian is to date when you are in the place where you can potentially get married. And I say that because while the Bible doesn't say much about dating, what it does do is it talks a lot about relationships in general. In fact, actually, if you read a lot of the New Testament, specifically the letters of Paul, there's a lot in it that talks about our relationships with others. For example, in Ephesians chapter 1, if you read through the first 14 verses, it says that when we're saved, it says that we're saved not just into a relationship with God the Father, but we're saved into a relationship with others. So, for example, it says that in Ephesians 1 at the end of verse 4, it says in love, and then it says in verse 5, we have been predestined, which is chosen before time by God, to be adopted. And that kind of implies we are adopted as children through the redeeming blood of Christ, which he kind of talks about in verses 6 and 7. And right up until verse 10, he speaks about what Christ has done, and he says that ultimately at the end of time, we're all going to be together under Jesus when the world ends, okay? So the reason I'm telling you that is because you can see that relationships with other Christians are important. If we're adopted into and we're children of God, and we're all going to be together under Him, then our biggest focus as Christians is not just our relationship with God, but it's a relationship with other people as well. Which means that if relationships between other people break, it's almost as severe as the break between the relationship with us and God. All right? So you got to get that. The Bible sees it as serious that we work hard at maintaining the relationships we have with others. Now, if you're dating and you're in high school, I hate to say this to you because you probably feel that the person you're dating is your soulmate. They're probably not your soulmate. It's probably 1% of teenagers that leave high school stay with the person that they've dated in high school and eventually get married to them. Most times people break. And when people break up, no matter how many times they say, we'll just be friends, they don't end up being friends. And what you have is you have relationship breakdowns between people, and that is wrong. That's not a wisdom issue. It's wrong. And so, as I said earlier, while dating perhaps isn't wrong, the breakdown of relationships is. And so what it would rather be wise is to say, okay, you know what, I'm going to date maybe later in my 20s when I'm ready to get married. Date then. By all means, date then. But having said that, what you should also do is you should be really wise about the person you're going to date, even at that point. Because obviously you don't want your relationship to break. You want your dating to go straight into marriage. So as you guys can see, dating isn't wrong, but it would be wise for you to rather date when you are able to get married. That's it from me. Happy Valentine's Day. Jared! I want you to hear more about that girl you want to date.